At the same time, saith the Lord, will I be the God of all the families of Israel, and they shall be my people. Thus saith the Lord, the people which are left of the sword found grace in the wilderness.
Okay, stop. Now, notice what he's saying right here. Remember, if you was with us during the second week when we talked about in Luke the 21st chapter, how Christ told us that when Jerusalem is harassed by armies, that we must flee into the wilderness, right? And then we also give you the precept of Revelation the 12th chapter, which shows you that that woman would go into the wilderness and be hid from the dragon for a time. This is what this is speaking of. The Bible never contradicts itself. If the prophet prophesies here, it's going to be said again here, and it's never going to contradict itself. This is what this is talking about. So he's saying here that he's going to be the God of all the families of Israel. Notice that this is not nothing to do with the church. This is about us. This is about us. And it says that the people who survived the sword, because remember we told you that siege, all the people that was left in Judea was killed or enslaved. The only ones who got out, escaped into either Rome, North Africa, and went into West Africa, were those who followed the words of Christ that are mentioned in Luke the 21st chapter. All right, go ahead.
Found grace in the wilderness, even Israel, when I went to cause him to rest.
Mm-hmm.
The Lord hath appeared of old unto me, saying, Ye, I have loved thee with an everlasting love. Therefore, with loving kindness have I drawn thee.
Stop. So he's saying right here, listen, I know y'all messed up. I know y'all broke my laws. I know y'all broke my commandments. I know you did not keep my statutes. But I love you with an everlasting love. He's talking to Israel right here. He says, I love you with an everlasting love. And you may think because you're in your situations right now, your circumstances and everything that's going on in this country, that the Most High don't love you. Oh, he does. He does. That's why he's saying, that's why I've drawn you. You may think that you just come across this video or you just come across this live video for the last 4 weeks. You just think, yo, this is this guy on his... No, this is the Most High. For you. He did it for me, and now he's doing it for you. He's drawing you back to him out of all of this nonsense that we call Christianity and back into the true belief of what the Most High told us to do. Go ahead. Verse 4.
And again I will build thee, and thou shalt be built. O Virgin of Israel, thou shalt again be adorned by the tabrets, and shall go forth in the dances of them and that make merry.
Look at what he said. Listen to what he's saying there. If you're just getting on with us, we're in Jeremiah 31st chapter, verse 4. He says, again, I will build you, and you shall be rebuilt. Again. So it looks like right now that there is no hope. It looks just like it was in Egypt. When he had been there all those years and suffering all that persecution, it looks like there is no hope. We don't have any leaders. We don't have anybody standing up. But the Most High is saying, again, I will rebuild you, and you shall be rebuilt. Verse 5.
Thou shalt yet plant vines upon the mountains of Samaria. The planters shall plant and shall eat them as common things.
Look at you saying, listen, right now, you focusing more on fast food and doing the best that you can. But look, he's saying it's going to come a time when you're going to be eating the best of the food and it's going to be like common food. You're going to be back in the place where you was originally when everything was laid out, a land flowing with milk and honey. Verse 6.
For there shall be a day that the watchman upon the Mount Ephraim shall cry, Arise ye, and let us go up to Zion unto the Lord our God. For thus saith the Lord, Sing with gladness for Jacob, and shout among the chief of the nations. Publish ye, praise ye, and say, O Lord, save thy people, the remnant of Israel.
Save thy people, the remnant of Israel. And that's what he's doing right now, and that's what he's going to continue to do. He's going to pull Israel out of the dust, out of the poverty, out of the pain, out of the suffering that our people is going through right now. And let me make this clear to you so you can fully understand. No man will ever be able to take credit for this. Just like in Egypt, no man will ever be able to take credit for what he's going to do for us in this country and in the South and Central America when he pulled all our people out. And in Africa, the people that are there in Africa, that are in Israel, and scattered all over this world. No man will be able to take credit for this. It will be the Most High. Look what he said here. Now, if you can keep reading, but I want to, we're spending a lot of time here, so I want to move forward a little bit. Go down to, you can keep reading on your own time, but go down to verse 27.
27 says, Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will sow the house of Israel and the house of Judah with the seed of man and with the seed of beast.
Keep on.
And it shall come to pass that as I have watched over them to pluck up and to break down and to throw down and to destroy and to afflict, so will I watch over them to build and to plant, saith the Lord.
Listen to that. And we talked about last week, remember when I said too much is given and much is required. And I showed you all throughout the scriptures everything that was going to happen to us. The Jacob trouble, the suffering that we're dealing with in this country and all over the world. The way that we can be shot down in the streets, the way all the Jim Crow and all the slavery and all the pain and suffering that our ancestors in this country had to go through. But he's saying in verse 28, the same way I watched over it to be destroyed, you to be destroyed and afflicted, is the same way I'm going to watch over to build and plant you and replant you and restore you, says the Lord. So with much emphasis and much effort that he spent in breaking us down for the punishment that we did, he's going to spend just as much to restore and bring those back in Christ. And let me remind you, today's lesson is, not only are you wanted, but you need it. Now, we got one more thing to get in. Look at verse 31.
Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
Okay, stop there. We got to keep saying this, and I'm not trying to be funny. But this is talking to us. Read that verse for them again.
Behold, the days come, saith the Lord, that I will make a new covenant with the house of Israel and with the house of Judah.
Do you see church in there?
No, I don't.
The house of Israel and the house of Judah. Do you see spiritual Jews?
Israel and Judah.
Israel and Judah. And that's going to do what? What's verse 32 says?
Not according to the covenant that I made with their fathers in the day that I took them by the hand to bring them out of the land of Egypt, which my covenant they break, although I was an husband unto them, saith the Lord.
Now, see, that's why I wanted you to see this. Because anytime where they talk about Christ is the bridegroom, and they always want to make the church to be the bride. And that's not biblically correct. The bride is Israel. The bride is Israel. And he's saying, I'm not going to make that covenant that I made with you, with your fathers, that your fathers broke when I brought you out of Egypt, even though I was a husband unto them. What did he say in verse 33?
But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel after those days, saith the Lord. I will put my law in their inward parts and write in their hearts, and I will be their God, and they shall be my people.
Wow. Now, let me make sure I make this very clear. Christ did not come to destroy the law, but to fulfill the law. And the Most High is telling us right here, read that last part for them again. I will put
my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts.
How is it going? If the Most High is telling us right here that he's going to put the law in our hearts, how do we not have to keep it? How can we sit up here and teach this stuff to the people when the Most High says that I'm going to put my law in their hearts? And in the law, some of the things that the Christian church is teaching, some of the people that call themselves to be Christians, they're breaking the law continuously. But they'll tell you, we're under grace now. We don't got to keep it. That's not what the Most High said. Grace gives us the ability to keep the law. If you go into Colossians, the 2nd chapter, around verse 14 through 18, if I'm mistaken, but it's in Colossians, the 2nd chapter, you will understand that what grace really means was grace took away the things of the law that was against us, the ordinances that was against us, meaning that if you committed adultery or you fornicated, you were put to death. If you worked and did work on the Sabbath during the time of the law,